Hi everyone, my name is Richard Santoro and I welcome you to Third and Zen, the YouTube channel where every week I'm sharing a spiritual message to nourish ourselves, heart, mind, body, and soul. First, thank you for stopping by the channel. Thanks for checking out today's video. I do hope that this video finds you doing well. I hope you're taking the time to care for yourself, heart, mind, body, and soul. If you feel like helping the channel, supporting the channel by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video, and things like that, I'd appreciate it. But either way, I do thank you for stopping by. Now, with all that being said, let's take a moment and give ourselves permission to just breathe, to just be still, to just silently, or however we prefer, prepare ourselves to get ready for today's message. Ease into our chair or seat or wherever we are at the moment and just breathe. Loosen any tension we might be holding in our body, in our shoulders, our face, our brow, our jaw. Make sure the wind doesn't knock over the thing here. Pardon me. Another deep breath. And let's get started with today's message, shall we? So as you may have gathered from the title of the video, I want to talk today about the 23rd Psalm. You know, in all my years, either at the pulpit or in various gatherings, church gatherings, what have you, I never actually preached on the 23rd Psalm. There was no particular reason I didn't avoid it. I was just never led there by the Holy Spirit. It just, you know, for whatever circumstantial reasons, it just never happened. So today, that's my focus. I want to do that today. Here's what I'd like us to do. Here's what we're going to do. I have my Sunday school Bible from the late 1900s when I was in Sunday school in second grade. What I'd like to do is I'm just going to briefly read the Psalm itself. And then we're going to go through it line by line. We're going to unpack it line by line and talk about it. Because, you know, we can pick up the Bible. We can read the 23rd Psalm and we can enjoy its words, its divine poetry, its familiarity to us. It just has a way of, many of us, just making us feel certain things. And we can read it and let it wash over us with its presence and with its peace, as it has done for countless souls for generations. And I want us to do that. I encourage all of us to do that if we are so moved. But today, as I mentioned, what I want us to do, what my intention is to read through it and go through it line by line and talk about it a little deeper, unpack it a little bit more, expand on it a little bit more, dive into it a little deeper. Because then, after doing so, maybe its presence, maybe God's 23rd Psalmy presence, when we do look at it or even just think about it and think about a line or a passage, we'll hopefully feel it a little bit deeper and maybe more abundantly or more profoundly for us. So that's my intention for today. So I would like to start us off by reading the 23rd Psalm. Do I need reading glasses? Yeah, it's a little clear. So let's read the 23rd Psalm. And I'm reading it from my Sunday school Bible because it has that more King Jamesian poetry that I personally am more familiar with. Many of us might be. So that's what we're going to read today. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen to those words. So, let me just take those off and let's unpack this. Let's unpack this a little bit deeper. Let's just go line by line with this. So, the Lord is my shepherd. Let's talk about that for a moment. Shepherd. In today's everyday modern life, here in our Western culture, the idea of a shepherd is, it has its place spiritually, theologically, maybe, but, you know, in the time when this was written, and then in the time of Jesus, and in many parts of the world even today, let's just briefly talk about what a shepherd means, because that might help us to find more in this passage. William Barclay, great William Barclay, the great 20th century Bible scholar, pastor, commentator, he likened the role of a shepherd and the idea of a shepherd and how a shepherd was approached. The analogy he used was a firefighter, like the, you know, FDNY, that it was such a respected job for the most part. It was a well-respected occupation because a shepherd cared for the sheep in such a brave and noble and caring and devoted and loving way. They were brave. They braved the wilds. They protected the sheep. It was such a well-respected occupation for those noble reasons. So the metaphor for us having a shepherd care for us as vulnerable sheep, that would have really landed then, and hopefully it can land for us now. You know, Barclay points out that the original word in Greek for shepherd is similar to the word pasture, and that's where the word pastor comes from. Now, in the time of Jesus, and perhaps a little bit before the time of Jesus, shepherds weren't really beloved by the more orthodox Jewish officials of Jesus' time, because the shepherds, you know, it was a dirty job. Physically, it was a dirty job. You were out in the wilderness all day long, so shepherds were unable to keep the minutiae of the ceremonial cleanliness laws. It's a tough, dirty job. So I find it beautiful that God's divinity found a way to make shepherding such a profound image, such a profound symbol, both here in the 23rd Psalm and also later when Jesus calls himself the Good Shepherd. So as we read, "The Lord is my shepherd," we are reminded that a shepherd is a noble profession, a noble position. A shepherd is caring and devoted and loving and a stalwart, a guide, fiercely protective of the sheep. That's what we get with "the Lord is my shepherd." And moving forward, the line, "I shall not want," which really is saying, I shall not want for anything. My needs are met. God will provide. I shall not want. God will provide. And then moving forward a little bit here, he leads me to lie down in green pastures. God leads me, makes me to lie down in green pastures. Green pastures to a sheep. Green pastures to a sheep, peace. There's peace in green pastures. There's rest. There's safety. There's belonging. There's nourishment. There's comfort. There's safety. God makes me to lie down in green pastures. God will provide. God will not just provide, but God will direct us, leads me to green pastures. God will direct us to better areas, better directions, better places, where we are meant to be, where we are safe and loved and cared for, and where we belong, just like a sheep belongs in green pastures. And then moving forward here with the wind, he leads me beside still waters. God leads me beside still waters. God leads you, leads us beside still waters. This is the line that got me. This is the one that gets me. Because where a person of the culture of Jesus's day or of the author's day of this psalm, and in that particular culture, that part of the world, where a person of that culture knows deeply the role of a shepherd and would connect with that metaphor, I personally connect with water. You know, growing up on an island, growing up by water, living by water. So I connect with the idea and the metaphor of still waters, especially when it's mentally juxtaposed to the metaphor of the stormy seas of life. But still waters, leading me beside still waters, just that idea, just the thought of that, it calms, it soothes, it's a serene and happy place. It's ideal, led to still waters, calm amidst the storm, calm amidst life in general. It's beautiful. I love that. And moving forward, he restores my soul. God restores my soul. You know, gang, I'm 50 years old. I am always tired, it feels like, and that's kind of been the case for a while, and I know a lot of people can maybe relate to that. So, you know, physical, mental, emotional restoration, yeah, that's really cool. I can dig that, absolutely. But having my soul restored, I hear that, I feel that on a deeper, more profound, more holistic level. That really is. Having my soul restored, the idea of having our soul restored, that's next level stuff. I can truly feel that sentence holistically, deeply. He restores my soul. God restores your soul. And looking forward here, the Lord leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake, for God's sake. Always knowing what direction in life to take isn't easy, to say the least. We are often met with crossroads, with decisions, with just holding the iPad here, making sure the wind doesn't knock it over. But it's a comfort to know that when we do have all of these decisions, directions, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, not knowing who and how and what to be, it's a comfort to know and have assurance here in the 23rd Psalm that, as the theological line of the Lord's Prayer goes, thy will be done. That God, that the Good Shepherd, is going to lead us to the right, lead us to the right place and the best places of goodness. The Lord leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. It's a comfort to know that when I'm not sure when and where to go or how to go, the Good Shepherd will guide, lead me in the paths of righteousness. And then this line, this is a deep and profound one. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Life really is the valley of death, isn't it? That sounds poetic and dramatic. I don't mean that in a gloom and doom filled way. Yes, very much in a life is hard kind of way, to be sure, but more so, the valley of the shadow of death, that idea, more so, it speaks in a way that life is fleeting, life is impermanent, and life is mortal, and death is an ever-looming presence and a reality with our existence, not one to be feared, for sure, not one to always have anxiety or be anxious over, but it's just a reality that our time in this world, in this life, is impermanent. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, so yes, not in a doom and gloom type of way, but in a just an abject reality, that's the reality of our existence. But, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, as the psalm says, I will fear no evil. I won't be scared. We don't have to fear. We don't have to be scared because there is a life beyond. Because there is a life beyond. And the good shepherd's got us. The good shepherd's got us. We're good. We're protected. There is nothing to fear, as the psalmist points out. Why? For thou art with me. For thou art with me. For thou art with me. Is there a better sentence in all of Scripture? For thou art with me. It sums up the psalm. It sums up the entirety of Scripture. what it's trying to say. It sums up what God is always, through several millennia, trying to tell us over and over and over again. I'm with you, for thou art with me. Like a vulnerable sheep feels the safety and protection and guidance and devotion and care of the shepherd, God is with you. God is with me. God is with us, for thou art with me. And looking forward, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Again, let's stay in that shepherd metaphor. The rod and the staff, a shepherd's crook, it guides. It's a tool used by a shepherd to guide, to lead. It directs. And what the psalmist is trying to say here, it lets the sheep know, I'm here. I'm right here. I'm right beside you. I'm right here. I got you. I'm right here. I got you. I'm here. It's okay. It's okay. I'm right here. Comfort in the form of presence. Comfort in the form of guidance. Comfort in the form of direction. Comfort in the form of safety, of a feeling of safety. Like a sheep feels that with a shepherd and the shepherd's rod, the shepherd's staff. We can feel that with God's presence. When we know that we're on the right track, or when healing comes, when guidance comes, when a hug comes, when the presence of a loved one comes, when laughter comes, when joy comes, when an answer comes, when we feel like a prayer has been answered, when we feel soothed, at peace, calm, joy, thy rod and thy staff comfort me with presence and direction and assurance, knowing that we are safe. And moving forward here in the psalm, thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. And no matter how bad it gets, I got you. I got you. I will set the table. I will set the table, and we will dine together. We will break bread together. We will enjoy a feast, a meal. We will hang out. I got you in fellowship, in love, in communion. Your enemies, be it people, life, situations, circumstances, trials, tribulations, pain, illness, anxiety, fear, stress, depression, loss, trauma, self-loathing, guilt, abuse, internal, external, momentary, prolonged. I got you. I got you. I got you. Set a table before you in the presence of your enemies, whatever form they may take. I got you. I got you. That's what that's saying. And moving forward here a little bit, thou anointest my head with oil. Thou anointest my head with oil. Good. We're good. Big gust, but we're good. Thou anointest my head with oil. Video still rolling? We're good. I will mark you. This is God saying, I will mark you in the holiest and most sacred. I'm going to hold the iPad. I will mark you in the most sacred and most holy and most mindful of ways. Like royalty gets marked, like servants get marked, like God's prophets get marked. I will anoint you. I, God, will mark you and consecrate you as mine. You belong to me. You belong to me. You are mine and I am yours. Ubuntu. I am because we are, is what God is saying. Where you are, I am. Where I am, you are. Our presence is intertwined. You belong to me. My circle of love, of care, all of it, it includes you, is what God is saying. Thou anointest my head with oil. And I want all to see. God's saying, I want everybody to see it. I want all to see it. I want you to feel it, to know it, that you are mine and I am yours. And then moving forward here in the psalm, my cup runneth over. My cup, your cup runneth over. And you will feel it abundantly, the psalmist is saying. The psalmist is saying it is more than you can imagine. Where there is fear, calm. Where there is pain, healing. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is loneliness, fellowship. Where there is void, love, joy, peace, presence. Your cup of all that is good, that is beautiful, that is wonderful, that is ideal, all that is right, it overflows. You're good, is what the psalmist is saying. And then bringing us in for a landing almost. Surely in goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. All the days. All the days. Every day. The good ones and the bad ones and the in-between ones. Today, right now, here. Tomorrow. Mercy, which we didn't earn, but we're given. We're given freely, out of love, out of grace, out of care, goodness, following you all the days of your life, like an attentive and devoted shepherd would follow the sheep all the days of their life. And then it ends with, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I will dwell. You will dwell. You will live, reside, be at home, at peace, as a family member, as a welcomed part of God's family, embraced, dwelling in safety, and provided for, and cared for, and loved forever. Forever in the house of the Lord, with the Lord, forever. Thanks be to God. Amen. Okay, my friends, that has been some dialogue, some conversation, some meditation, and some unpacking and delving into the beloved and monumental 23rd Psalm. Whatever your relationship with that psalm may have been prior, whether it's something that you didn't really have much of a relationship with, or whether it's something that is just woven into your spiritual DNA, I do hope that in us talking about it today, perhaps it helped broaden. Perhaps it helped broaden the canvas, the beauty of it. However the case, I do wish you peace, and I thank you for stopping by the channel and checking out today's video. I wish you peace, love, and God's fellowship with you in your journey going forward. Thank you all again for stopping by. I love you all. Have a great day. Have a great week. Peace. Ciao, ciao.